To JKLIVE here at Citizen Television. What a joy. Finally, we have someone on the bench who could give us hope, a politician for that matter. Because, we've lost a lot of hope, Governor, I'm sorry to say. No. And, we try to look for the best out of people, but most of the time, either we're getting abused openly. So it's rare. And we're hoping, and a lot of people have been writing in and telling me, we hope this man is genuine. We hope he talks the talk.
From the bottom of my heart, I mean it. We've had to do things. We've had to make changes. We've had to make tough decisions just to get things done. And I mean it. And the time I was in London, a few months ago, and we met Kenyans there, and one old mzee just said, if this Nairobi doesn't work this time, tufunge tu, everyone goes back to their rural home.
Shut it down.
Because it must work. And that's why I keep saying lazima it work. Lazima it work. Because there's a goodwill, there's expectation, and there's the potential. Nairobi, we can actually hit 50B, in terms of revenues. Let me tell you, let me show you something I brought. Look at this. This is a report, 1990, 94?
Yeah.
Mayor Steve Magic Mwangi.
Yeah, Magic Mwangi, I remember him.
The Nairobi we want.
Yes.
They had this conference at City Hall. And if you look at the ideas then, we've lost years. We've lost years. That's why we have 210 schools. Because nothing happened. Nairobi became just about politics. Nairobi became about land grabbing. It became about, just cutting corners, doing the wrong thing. And I love what Barack Obama said when he came to Nairobi. And he was speaking to kids at, I think, KU or JKLIVE. And said, you have an imperative now and the prerogative. But to do it, don't look at Nairobi in terms of what it has always been. Look at it in terms of what it must be. Because it's very easy to focus just looking back. We look back so that we can see forward. But let's not be stuck there. This city is blessed. God has given us geography. We're a global capital with beautiful weather. We're 5 hours away from Dubai. We're 8 hours away from London. We're 13 from New York. This is the center of the world, literally. We have amazing people who can speak good, they can relate to anyone. It's the only city with a national park in the capital. It has, from January to January, you can go out there, you can enjoy. We're losing out to Kigali. Yeah. We're losing out because of the environment, because of, people cutting corners. Somebody must put a stop to it. And it's my work. And that is why, even if the decisions I make that are not popular, I'm not looking for that popularity. Some things are tough, but it must be done. And that is what the mayor then said. He spoke about courage. He said, we must take the blame.
And this was 30 years ago.
This is 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
And so that's why, Jeff, right now what we're doing, we're putting together, because when President Kibaki opened, started Vision 2030, it looked so far out.
Yeah, it was far away.
2003.
Yeah. It
was like, 28 years, 27 years forward.
Yeah.
We're here.
It's around the corner.
And so we're setting up Nairobi Vision 2050 to look at what the city must be then and come back. Because you can't lead without vision. And so Nairobi Vision 2050 will have a mix of, corporate, civil servants, the guys mtaani, just sitting and saying, look, this is what we want. And we make concerted efforts towards it, a medium term. This is what we need to do in the short term, in the middle term, in the long term. Because you must be guided by that,
Yeah.
I saw you asking, what's the plan? This is the plan. This is the plan.
Yeah.
Everything I'm doing is from this manifesto. This is what we sold to Nairobians. Look at this. The first promise is what?
To have a feeding program for all public school. Oh, my goodness.
I'm implementing what I said I'll do.
Number one.
Yeah. And that's in order. Because you said you want a city of order, dignity, hope, and opportunity. It's not selling ice cream to create order. There are people who benefit from disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
But you'll find out of 5 million Nairobians, those who benefit from it are not 5,000 people. So should we sacrifice at the altar of political expediency the lives of 5 million Nairobians, and not just Nairobians here, the international. I mean, I was talking at the UN Habitat Assembly, and they're like, we love this place. I hosted mayors and governors from 104 countries for dinner at the park, at Karura Forest. I spoke about Wangari Maathai's courage. And I asked them, you're looking for a monument? It's all around you. It's these trees. If Wangari Maathai didn't have courage then, we don't have Karura.
No, it would have gone.
We don't have Uhuru Park. So this is the plan.
And you're going to stick to it.
We're going to finish this thing.
Governor, let's talk about healthcare in Nairobi County.
Yes.
It's a mess. People have been complaining so much. There's so many critics about some of these public hospitals.
Yeah.
And then the worst part is some doctors establish private hospitals, and that's where they redirect the traffic, in which case people have to pay even more. There are no drugs in hospitals.
No. That's what we found. When we got into office, on the 20th day, slightly before that, there was a case of a lady who lost her twins at Mama Lucy. And so I'd gone for a function in Embakasi South. And I said, let me pop in. When I went in there, what I saw broke my heart. Jeff, you're sitting on a bench. You can't sit on this thing for 2 hours. And you're a guy.
No, correct.
A lady was given birth the previous night, C-section, is on a bench. I found women sharing beds after giving birth. And I said, okay, most guys, you get into office and governors go to hospitals and fire people and say, rash decisions. I said, no. I set up a health reforms task force. Professor Olive Mugenda, Dr. Githinji Gitahi, former CAS, what's the name? Health CAS, Masi Mwangangi. I got somebody on HR, Dorcas Kemunto. I got Anastasia Nyalita, who is now my chief, the CEC for health. She's in charge. She used to be the CEO for Kenya Health Federation. I brought this team and told them, please, look at the real root problems in this, give me a report, and I'll implement it. And they did it. And they gave me the report. Nairobi had not received drugs, medicine, for 3 years because of an old KEMSA debt of 185 million. I went and I called, Terry, who was at KEMSA.
Yes.
Brilliant lady, by the way.
Very smart.
Brilliant. I don't know what happened with this story, and I hope the truth comes out.
Yeah.
But I sat with Terry, and I asked her, please, you have drugs in your stores, I have people in my hospitals. Can we work out an arrangement? And we said, okay, pay 40 million a month. I've paid 120 million so far.
Out of 185?
Out of 185. She gave me drugs worth 244 million shillings, and a system to make sure that we always have drugs. Today, go to the smallest facility in Nairobi County, you'll get drugs. And we've replenished. Nairobi had no ICU. Do you know that?
What do you mean?
No public ICU.
And Kenyatta?
That is the national government. Kenyatta has referrals. It's a referral hospital. So you have referrals from Lamu, from Turkana, from Eldoret, from wherever it is. In 6 months, I set up the first ICU. In 60 years, since God made Nairobi, there was no ICU. We did in the first 6 months.
Where is it?
At Mama Lucy. We put in the first ICU, and the second ICU is about to come at Mbagathi. There's only one renal unit. We've set up the next one. Now, it might sound just like, because I think by now we have had 60 successful cases that have gone through that ICU. But a friend of mine calls me. It's called Mwendwa. Mwendwa used to be my housemate. After school, and in this town I had an SQ here, then I moved. So we put money together. Yeah. And Mwendwa calls me and says, Saks, this thing you did, you don't know the impact. My own grandma, her life was saved because of that ICU. There's an old man called Lawrence from Muranga. We did this eye thing, who had gone blind. He'd gone blind, cataract issues. We did a free surgery clinic. He's seeing.
What?
Na alikuwa naibiwa mtaani because he can't see.
Yeah.
There are such successful stories. The newborn unit, today I took Samantha Power, Ambassador Samantha Power, who's the administrator for USAID.
Correct.
To Mbagathi. And she said, this is not what I expect to see. Because the newborn unit for the NBU,
yeah,
looks like Nairobi Hospital, looks like Aga Khan. We did it in this short time. So Mama Lucy and all these hospitals, I removed all the boards. We changed the boards. Those people who are in the task force chair those boards now. Dr. Gitahi Oamref is the chair of Magathi. Dorcas Kemunto is chair at Mama Lucy. Yeah? And I'm with them every day. What do we improve? What do we change? When I finished at Mbagathi, I went to what we used to call the city mortuary, where if you are at that roundabout, Nairobi Baptist City Mortuary roundabout, you smell.
Yeah,
there's no smell. Johansen Odor
is
the chairman of...
Chief Pathologist.
Is now the chairman. We introduced 6 coolers. I got the... So many stalled projects. When I was at Mbagathi, I told the mothers, and I keep telling them, I was there last week, whose children are in incubators. I told them, don't worry. I was also a preemie. Yeah? And we get to this size. And we're just encouraging them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So what was the problem? Was it stealing? Was it...
It's just leadership, man. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Pumwani Hospital, the last time it had lifts working was the year I was born, Jeff. It has a brand new lift, brand new generator. The old one they had, the small one, I put at Pumwani School of Midwifery. CHV is community health volunteers, because we must deal with this from the primary level. Community health volunteers are in charge of at least 100 households. And they'll come and say, oh, they'll take your pressure, they'll look at your temperature, whatnot, just vital signs, and tell you, okay, because of what you have, you should go to the dispensary or the health center, or just get this medicine. The president says, kama ni aspirin, ni homa, upatiwe. They've never been paid. I'm the first county, I pay 7,460 community health volunteers. And I told my CEC Finance, Charles Kerridge, don't pay me my salary before CHVs are paid. And now, the national government is coming in to support counties for 100,000 of these community health volunteers, giving us 2,500. So on top of the 3,500 that I give them, I'm going to make it 5,500 or 6,000, and then pay for them NHIF. Jeff, if I had the resources, because I want to do it, once we improve our revenue this year, in the next financial year, we want to ensure 190,000 households, the most vulnerable, and give them universal health cover. Jeff, their families, one person gets sick, they're impoverished.
Yeah.
Everything changes. You've invested, you've gotten, back in the rural home, there's a cow or there's something, a business in Nairobi, you have a shop, one person gets sick, you go back to zero.
That cow's going to be sold.
That cow's going to be sold. That child will drop out of school. And so we're giving you that card. I wish I could do it in this coming financial year. But with the limitation, yes, I've surpassed the last revenue for the last year, but I'm not yet where I want to be. There are challenges with the system. First of all, the first month of the financial year was under the previous regime. It was July. August is an election month. September, transition, October. So those first 3 months went down. But after that, April of this year, I collected 881 million, which has never been collected in the history of Nairobi in a month, in the month of April. If you compare January to April, end of April, we surpassed the previous collections under NMS by 1.6 billion. And so the next year is going to be good. We're the first county to have an up-to-date valuation roll. And that is what is helping me, among many revenue streams.
But Governor, let me ask you this. And it all sounds so fantastic, but...
it's reality.
There's a saying, Nairobi ina wenyewe.
Nisisi.
The cartels still control this city.
Where?
They own this city, the mafia.
No,
and they will not let you be successful.
No,
they will cut you down.
They won't.
That's what they do.
They better find somebody else. They better find somebody else. We're so committed. And I told you years ago here, the first way to deal with the cartels, because it's a lazy term used by leaders who want shortcuts, the first way to deal with them is to refuse to be part of them. And they'll come and tell you, we've been doing this, or ingia kwa hii mix, you can add someone in this company, we can do this together. I'm not trying to be a billionaire now, Jeff. Not yet.
Yeah.
I'll work hard, I'll do my business, uko mbele, maybe. And it's not even important, Jeff. When I see the smiles in those kids, I'm a billionaire. So we have the first 2019 valuation row. This next financial year, sectional properties. Instead of just paying rates on improve, so you're, let's say Kileleshwa.
Yeah.
These old houses that were on half an acre. The same rate they're paying is the same rate the neighbor is paying with 30 apartments.
It's ridiculous.
That is changing. Yeah. So we have the new valuation row, GIS based. we're the second city in Africa to have the street naming and physical addressing system that we're going to be rolling out. You know how it is out there. You know, this side is odd numbers, even numbers. To help e-commerce, all our guys in Boda Boda, we've marked for them spots in town. They used to be chased, like as if CBD is for only the rich people. I said, no, let's be organized. Put you in circles. Yeah, Ken in town is in charge of a circle there, the CBD. This is your drop-off point for Uber. This is your drop-off point for Boda Boda. It is ongoing, so it is working. Yeah. It may not be a drastic shift in a day. It doesn't take a day or a month. The mess didn't take a day. The mess is decades. Yeah. But people can see the progress.
Those 30-story apartments that you're talking about, are you going to stop that? Because some of them are either illegally built or illegally approved. And then, of course, they can't sustain the sewer and the water.
There are quite a number. And that's why we have a regularization bill, especially in the eastern part of the city, where people just build without approvals, but they're there and they want to pay rates. So together with the national government, remember when the buildings were collapsing, and there's a building inspectorate, we went around and we said, look, let's analyze which ones can be salvaged, which ones just need to be reinforced and whatnot. But I changed the entire urban planning technical committee. So there's a committee that sits to approve your building plans, and many wrong plans were approved. So I changed the committee, and I included now resident associations. Kara is there. There's Abdul Malik Gishuki is there representing Kara. We have the engineering board. We have the planners. We have the architectural association. The professionals. If they can't have a standard of integrity, then Jeff, we have to believe in people.
Absolutely.
And so we've gotten funding, thankfully, to sort out the sewer system in now these high-rise areas like Kilimani, just to make sure we have proper trunk sewer, water, the size of the pipes as we wait for the northern collector, which we have pushed. This thing was going to come end of I don't know when. But with the president, we sat and said, look, call Engineer Thuita and Alice Wahome, the CS. What was stuck? Compensation. We got 5-10 million shillings. People are being compensated. I think by the end, even closer to the end of this year, we'll have 140 million liters of water more in Nairobi. Nairobi receives 525 million liters a day, but we need 850. And why is that? The same problem I'm telling you. Leadership stopped being imaginative. Yeah. We had only 4 sources of water. The first one, 1904, the colonialist. Kikuyu Springs gives us 1%. The second one, 1938, Ruiru. The third one, which is now 11%, is Sasumwa in Nyandarua. Yeah? And then Dakaine, 1994 to 1997. After that, which other source of water? In fact, it was built to forecast the population of Nairobi in 2002, which was 2 million people. Now we are 5 million. Yep. So that's why that shortage is there. But Northern Collector 1, which is being done now, the national government and ourselves, is going to bridge that gap. And so if you're getting water thrice a week, you'll get it at least 5 times. If you're not getting, you'll get. Some of the old pipes in CBD, in Kamkunji, Isili, were built in the 30s. Wow. So the non-revenue water is so high because of leakage, just the physical infrastructure. So the French Development Agency has given us a few billions. We've received support from, just different partners, and plus what Nairobi Water is collecting now, and we're moving now to smart meters. We have now the water police. People in Langata have been saying they don't have water for a long time. Yeah. Why? Part of it goes through Kibra, and it's been infiltrated. We have more than 45 people who've been... There's a lady I saw... I was driving past Tikabanas, and I was going towards Airport North Road. And so I find this water police that we're doing with, with Nairobi Water in Athi at a kiosk. And so I think they're harassing these people. I'm like, what are you doing at this kiosk? I stopped my car. I said, come, Governor Wone. This lady has 16 pumps from our pipeline. She's supplying flats. She's supplying the whole estate, our water, and electricity. She's now Nairobi Water and Kenya Power.
In one.
In one. And so what she does when you do that, then those downstream don't get the water.
Yes.
And so in some of those areas, we're concreting the pipeline. There's a new line that's coming from Kabete, coming down to James Gishuru, Oliodume, then using the new Kungu Karumba Road. to go to that side of Langata and Karen. Kayole, I was there the other day. Same problem. So we'll solve it. And, people, we need some level of patience because these things the mess didn't happen in a day.
Yeah. Did this woman get arrested?
Yes.
She's inside?
She has a case.
Good.
She's been bailed out, but she has a case.
You talked about CBD a moment ago, and there's a big concern about hawkers occupying pathways or walkways right outside shops in some areas.
The first thing is for us to realize, one, just because you get a salary in an office and you feed your kids, doesn't mean that person on the street is doing less of a job. Now, they are also victims of non-responsive government because government for the years didn't expand markets. We didn't create spaces for them to trade because street trade is there with us. And so what we've done, and I'll show you photos, we have organized back lanes where we're actually putting sheds, covers, and lights. We're almost done with it, and if I send you them, you can broadcast them. And we've registered these hawkers. We know all of them. And they'll be selling their stuff. They're not doing they're not thugs. They've not decided to go rob people. They're just trying to eke out a living. And so it's about dignifying kazi ni kazi. Just dignifying people's hustle. That yes, you need to do your job. Where do you do it? And I like it. Look, the other day in Lavington, there was a problem with the encroachment past Lavington Mall going now down into Kangware. And people are all over the street selling, blocking walkways. And we just told them, you guys, you're in the wrong place, yeah? Why don't we come on this side? And a businessman, a friend of mine called Nasir, said, Saks, I'll support this. We have built for them beautiful sheds. They're now organized. They're saying, this is even better for us. We can lock our wares. These are good people. They're not criminals. They just want a responsive leadership that provides for them. We promised 20 markets. We are building the 20 markets in Nairobi. And I'm very happy. Last evening, I spoke to PS Maura Hinga. He is supporting me with even more. From the national government.
Was he sweating profusely? Or?
Hell, maybe he was sweating and I was crying.
Okay, sorry.
It's a mess.
My bad. You're talking about Matatus and Bodaboza a moment ago. The Termini, Nairobi Termini.
Yeah.
How's that coming?
Jeff, number one, the Green Park Terminal.
Yes.
In all honesty, and I don't know if I should, anyway, I like saying what's in my mind. That is the most prime piece of land in East Africa. Isn't it?
Yes.
Right there, the CBD, 5 acres.
Correct.
It was not supposed to be a bus terminal. All of the trials that have been tried, even during NMS time, ETC failed. Even just the human mass passing, the matatus. And so for long distance vehicles, it looked like it could work. And it was working until those interference. And so we said, okay, leave that. I sat down with my team and we said, look, what is Nairobi trying to do? We're trying to be a global capital. Yeah? You've seen the Kigali Conference Center.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Why don't we have it there? I've already approved an exit of the expressway into the CBD at that point. The exit of the expressway, you think about it. You're coming from New York or DC or wherever for conference. You fly KQ, you land in 5 minutes. You're on the expressway, you're in your hotel, there's a mall, there's a nice hotel, you can go into Uhuru Park, you can go across and run at Central Park and come back. This will be the capital of conferencing. And so that's something we're exploring to do under PPP. People have expressed interest, from the Marriotts to the Holiday Inns, all of these people, to build hotels with conference facilities, but we also have an arena around it. And so the real solution for the termini is a BRT. Now, Namata had been struggling, the Nairobi Metropolitan Transport Authority. I sat with Murkomen and I told him, bro, we were in the Senate together. According to the legal notice of Namata, you're the chair of the council and I'm the vice chair. Can we just revive this thing? And we found the European Investment Bank came to see me. They said, we have all the money approved for BRT, Bus Rapid Transit Line, because there are 5 lines. There's Chui Line, Simba, Kifaru, all those lines, Thika Road, Wayaki Way, going all the way to Rongai. Look at the traffic on Magadi Road.
Yeah.
And what was missing was a refreshing the cabinet approval for it. I told the president, boss, and that's why I like him, he's hands-on. I told him on a Friday, on Tuesday cabinet, they passed it.
It's true.
My team right now is in Paris, including the Namata team. They are there securing that money for at least that first line. And because in most places you've worked and you've been around the world, an organized city is not about how many people have private cars. It's about how public transport works. I've sat down with the Matatu sector. We have a quarterly meeting. And we've agreed on many things, including them investing in this, investing in it, because it's going to be a bus company. Ultimately, and in my manifesto, I spoke about a metro system. And that's why I chose my mobility advisor. He's the guy who sorted out Beijing, sorted out London. He is the dean of the Faculty of Engineering at the world's top engineering university, Imperial College. And he's a Kenyan. Wow. Professor Washington Yoto Ochieng. And so we're exploring there now the economics of moving there from the BRT. I went all the way to King's Cross Station. They're doing our railway city station. And I saw it. But then I told them, okay, we have the station, but where are the trains? Who's coming there? Yeah. I'm not going to evict people outside railways. Right. And there's nothing happening in there. But we are working together. So mobility is something that is key. I changed the sector from just roads and transport. It's called mobility. Move Nairobi. We waste too much time and too much money in traffic. Yeah.
In fact, that's what Reverend Canon Samuel Wainana was referring to, who's moved to the UK now.
Yes.
And he says, most of the people there, they literally walk to work.
Yeah.
It's such a joy to walk.
So walkways, look at, we've done a number of walkways. We want to increase.
All these paths are you guys. This is what we see. That's you.
Pathways in the estates, we're doing that. Using our own capacity. Very few of them are contracted. Because I found amazing people at City Hall. The engineers in City Hall. The planners. Yeah. World class. They had just never been given a chance. They had been suppressed. They're not... boss, leave even those ones. Look at this, Jeff. This is that document from... This is 1987. Pedestrian street system in Nairobi. This is 87.
87?
Yes. This is the plan...
That's 36 years ago.
My friend, I was 2 years old. It's not that it's actually 40 years ago. Yeah. Look at this. Dual highways. Yeah. Yeah, actually, no, you're right, it's 36 years ago. Yeah. Look at the transit system. Makongeni to Makadara, Jogoo Road, Buruburu, Mathare Valley. We have all the plans. By the way, we don't need any other conference on plans. It's implementing this document. When I asked for it, I was told no one has asked for this thing since mayors.
Since Magic Steve's time.
So it was not there in City Hall. I had to get it from the Kenya National Library Service. That's why it's a photocopy. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So we have it. We just need to now come together. And so recently I was opening someone's building in Westlands. Yeah. And there was this business community. And they asked questions, do this for us. Why are you not doing this for us? I told them, my friends, I'm doing my part, but I didn't say, let me make Nairobi work. I said, let's. That's what I said, let's. Yeah. There's our responsibility as the citizens of this capital. I'll put, we're putting up the bins, we're trying to clean the place, and I'll tell you what we're doing for the environment. But that doesn't mean you throw a banana peel outside your car, or you toss a bottle outside a bus. There's what you also must do. Yeah? We just closed, and now we're evaluating bids for a waste-to-energy project. 45 megawatt project in Dandora.
Oh.
Yeah? But even as we do that, many of us, and I was talking to my friends in a group, you need to sort out your garbage at home. Yeah. Put your bottles, put your plastics, put the organic differently for that thing to work. So that is also your responsibility. And it's because people don't own their city. Yeah. And that is why, I'm sure, in your estate, if you have a group, a chama, or a committee, and they say, we want Jeff to be the treasurer. Oh, no, not Jeff. Maybe Baba Kamau. No, Baba Onyango is the best. The scrutiny in these small settings is so high, higher than even who is going to run your 40 billion. Because we don't own our capital. We must find, and that's why we used to say, I am Nairobi. We must own our capital, and from that ownership then, I call public participation meetings how many times? Who comes? The same crowd. Who expect maybe something after.
Correct.
Or NGOs. When have you gone for public participation?
It's been a minute.
Of course, we need to reimagine our systems of democracy. Let people also, who's going to come on a Tuesday afternoon? People are working, yeah? Use social media, We've told, and that's why I have a docket, actually a minister in charge of public participation and inclusivity. Because until people own their capital and are proud of it, I love New York didn't just happen.
And you know, that's real love, huh?
Yeah.
That's passion.
That is what we're trying to create in Nairobi, Jeff.
Is it achievable, Governor, in your time, in our time? Is it achievable? Because...
It must be achieved.
Huh?
We have no choice. Jeff, if we don't do it in these 5 years, this city will slide into anarchy.
Yeah.
We'll just have to let go of it. It must be done. That's why every morning, till late night, that's what we are doing. Trying. We move you can't boil the ocean. My deputy governor loves saying that. Yeah, we can't boil the ocean. But we're making progress, and we need partnerships. We need the people of Nairobi to say, okay, I'm going to support your feeding program. For me and my guys in this place, we're introducing something in the finance bill for Nairobi. Of course, we're going to do our part. We're now hiring, in fact, we're concluding this week, 3,500 young people to clean the streets, the environmental officers. Because those who used to clean when I was a kid are still there.
Yeah.
And they're in their 60s, they're old.
Good Lord.
So we're going to do that. We've already purchased around 27 refuse compactors, another 25 tippers on top of the 40 we have. So we're doing that. We have 60 contractors now collecting garbage. We have people if you go to the CBD, every morning you'll find people sweeping etc. But even once we do that, so we'll tell you, okay, this is your business. If we find that it's in front of you, because you find somebody is selling mangoes and then throwing the pills, illegal dumping. So we'll get you for that. We'll do our part, but also you can't, we'll put the bins, we'll put whatnot. You do that. Now that one will be unforgivable.
You see what they do in Kigali once a month?
I refuse to do that cleanup.
You don't want to do the cleanup?
Until, because you see, I can't shirk the responsibility to clean the city is mine.
Yeah.
The reason it's not been cleaned for a long time is because of the human resource, the capacity of the people doing it, and the infrastructure, to get it done. So people are like, okay, I don't want to throw this, but where do I throw it?
Right.
Right. Now, once I've provided that, which is what we're doing now, once we have a rhythm and it's Thursdays. When we were kids, there was Camero in Nairobi. This truck comes on Thursday. That's when we bring out our garbage. Yeah. I sat down with the Isili business community. I told them, you guys, on the median, it's full of trash. I collect it in 4 hours. You've paid this youth to take your trash and they dump it. You have restaurants without grease sleeves or grease straps. They're messing up our sewer. Do you know now, if you go there, and I saw Ben Nasir tweeted the other day and said, my friend, Isili is looking different. So there are parts that have been a bit more challenging, like pipeline, for instance, because it's a sewer and water problem and the road. So that one is contracted out, and the procurement process also has to be followed.
Right.
But there are places that have absolutely changed. And so it's been 10 months.
It's been 10 months?
Yeah.
Not 10 years?
No, it's been 10 months.
Governor, what keeps you up at night?
The people of Nairobi. The unemployment, the young people, the hopelessness of many, the disillusionment, the impunity. People thinking you can just get away with anything. We're a county where hewa ilikuwa inalipwa. Let me put it that way. Or you can just come up with some documents, come up with an LP or whatnot, do 20 million. Do something, 30 million shillings. That keeps me up at night. Because when I look at my kids, when I look at these kids in the schools, they can't come to JKL 20 years from now to discuss the same problem.
Yeah.
It'll be remiss of us.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps me up at night. And just the hope that it's possible to sort it out. I was elected just 2 weeks ago to be the vice chair of the London Mayor, Sadiq Khan, in the C40 cities, which is a network of 100 cities around the world on climate action. And when I heard what this country is doing, and I won't mention the countries because we're friends, and I hear what these other countries are doing, I'm like, actually, we're not badly off.
Really?
No.
It can be fixed.
I mean, there's someone saying, we're so proud we've done 2,500 trees, and we've already done 500,000.
Trees?
Yes.
Where?
In Nairobi.
Where?
All across. In schools, in institutions. On my birthday, we did 3,800 because I was turning 38.
Correct.
Yeah. We've been doing it. And now with this new budget, this financial year is ending, we're introducing the Green Army together with the Honorable Soipan. Our target is 1.1 million trees a year. That's the target we were given. And so I told the president, please, you have GSU, training school here. You have AP, training school. you have NYS.
Nice, yeah.
Let's put them in cohorts with our young people because we're trying to sort this unemployment problem. You know, let's put them in cohorts, give them even if it's 2.5 a week, let them start planting. 12,950. That's still our target. So with this financially that's passing, remember, these are our first budgets we're doing. It was very difficult to incorporate that, but that's what we're going to put in going forward.
Once upon a time, Nairobi was known as?
The green city in the sun.
Remember that?
Yes.
Can it be?
More than that. Nairobi itself is a place of fresh, cool waters.
Correct.
That's the original name for it. It's supposed to be a haven, you know? Whenever I have guests, I give them a book, yeah, done by Susan Ahungu about Nairobi.
I have it.
It has the oldest sign,
Yeah.
which was the railway altitude marker. And it says what? Nairobi is a city where your attitude determines your altitude. We don't have gold. We don't have oil. We don't have minerals. Our greatest resource is not below the ground. It's above it. It's our people.
Yeah.
Yeah? At the time I was speaking at Palo Alto in San Francisco,
Yeah.
which is the Silicon Valley.
Correct.
And somebody asked me, so I was an MP then, asked me, how is it that we're seeing all this technology and innovation coming from Nairobi, M-Pesa, whatnot? I told them, because we're the Silicon Savannah. The same tools that exist to code that somebody has, a teenager in California has, is the same one that a teenager in Dandora has. But the need is different. Why are we not tapping into that innovation? I have a chief officer now for startups. Just a few weeks ago, we've trained 100 young people on coding in Eastlands and 100 others on software engineering for 6 weeks. They're doing a course. There's a time there was a competition at Konza. I took a young boy, 6-year-old, from Dandora. His dad is called Jefu. He's part of my team. This 6-year-old defeated everybody in coding.
What?
This is the resource that we have that will change this city. So, these 2,000 cartels or 1,000 people, should we focus on them or the rest of the 5 million? Who can make this city vibrant, move, you know, let resources up? My GDP in Nairobi is $28 billion. Rwanda as a country is $11 billion.
As a country?
As a country. Nairobi's GDP is more than twice Rwanda's.
Wow.
Burundi is $2 billion. And so I asked my brother, Anthony, UNDP came, and I said, look, Tony, you guys, when you look at the averages, we fall down. We fall because of the law of averages. But why don't you treat Nairobi as an entity? And he said, you know what? Actually, let's do that. And Nairobi is now going to be the first city in Africa that will have a one-on-one direct support from the UNDP and such institutions, just because of rethinking. Yeah.
How do you stop your MCAs from impeaching you? Because that's what they're very good at for most of the part.
No, they're good guys. They're good guys. I think what has been the problem, you see, you can't say, I don't like Toyota Corollas because I saw a Toyota Prado in an accident. It's who's driving it that changes it. Yeah, it's who's driving it. You can have different outcomes. And it's just working with them, listening to them. Look, Ward Development Fund, many governors have resisted it. I've said, look, why would any governor resist development in every ward? I moved it up from 4 million to 6 million shillings. Every ward in Nairobi, I mean, from 17 to 23 million shillings. For every ward. The community sits, they agree on a project. Every MCA has a project from the community. Bursaries were 4 million shillings. I moved it up. From the first governor of Nairobi, 2013, Dr. Kidero was governor.
Yeah.
Then Sonko became governor. Then NMS came and Kananu. In 10 years, the bursaries and scholarships given to our children in Nairobi were 3 billion. In 6 months, I've done 1 billion and 25 million Yakutoa.
Come on.
Yes. I go to places. The other day I was in Jiru. The place where I think you saw the video of a guy on a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah? Saying, hey, no, Kanairo, whatnot.
Correct.
I went. First of all, it's not a bridge. Eh? It's a trunk sewer. Done many decades ago. But they said, you know, we've never seen a governor here. You're the first guy. The only guy we see was Waititu because he was the councillor for Njiru. And I realized these are solutions we can have. The sewer that was spilling is farmers blocking. There are rocks in the system. They put rocks, they put the bags, sandbags, so that the sewer bursts and waters their crops. That's why we have cancer. I told my guys, my friends, there's no negotiation. Just remove that. That is cancer.
Yeah.
We're now doing for them their bridge. The roads we're doing in the city. These resources have been with us, and it's because Nairobians have the ability. We have the ability. So things in our work. In our work. Pole pole.
Most.
Governor,
there's a lot of feedback. I need to get to the board and let you go because...
Oh my, it's 11:30.
Time flies when you're having fun, Gov.
Oh my goodness.
Lots of feedback coming in so thick and so fast.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. Friends of Jivanji Gardens, the JG upgrading project has come to a halt.
Yeah.
What are the county government's plans? What is JG? Oh,
Jivanji Gardens. Jivanji Gardens, I mean, that's a place I love. My mom's shop was next Mokta Dada.
Is that right? Yeah, Mokta Dada.
And remember the first Kenchik?
Oh, my favorite.
Yes.
With that rotisserie chicken.
We call it kuku. How do we call it on TV? Kusama. We not use the other word. No, there was an issue with the family, and that pulled back at some point. We're taking it up as county, because remember that is land that was donated by the Jivanji family. But it's part of what we're doing. TRM, on top of Uhuru Park and the rest, we're also doing that.
Okay. Stephen Jenga says, the best Nairobi governor by far. He has lived up to the billing. Would love to hear his plans on proposed garbage recycling plant at Dandora, sorting water shortages issues and increasing revenue collection in Nairobi. Looking forward. You talked about that.
I know about Dandora.
Dandora, yeah.
We're already at RFP. We've narrowed down 16 international companies that have done it elsewhere, bid for it. We're not using our money. It's a PPP. But the issue on revenue, we have digitized all our revenue streams. Today, you can't pay for anything in Nairobi in cash. It's all *647#. *647. You pay for whatever it is.
Everything.
Everything.
Rates,
parking, you name it.
Yeah.
And then also nairobiservices.go.ke. If you want to do something bigger, they'll tell you how to do an RTGS or how to... And that's... I know people have struggled with the system a bit, but in Indiana.
Okay. Anonymous says, an advocate has taken the county to court over planned controversial payment of 2 billion shillings as pending legal bills. Is this true? I think we talked about that earlier.
I don't know if the advocate has taken us to court, but there's no 2 billion payment. The budget is around 650, maybe plus 70 million. What we did, the pending legal bills Nairobi had was 21 billion. 21B. I set up a team led by Kamodo Eganjo, which has, tax masters. It has that entire team that has scrutinized. And when they scrutinize, they give us an interim report and say, look, these are the ones we think are legit. You can pay these ones. Because they have to be paid. And many of those asking, actually the ones who passed it in the assembly, because you have to pay them. You can't just say we won't pay this. That's irresponsible of government to say, I don't like this story, I won't pay them. People have represented us in court. We have a lot of land matters in court. Yeah. And because of not paying them, then we're losing more because they're not being represented. And that is why I sat with the SRC. I told them, look, allow me also to have a better package for my legal department or for some other, because you can't have one size fits all. The challenges in Nairobi are not like any other county. Yeah? So I shouldn't have to pay my department the same as any other county. Instead of paying 21 billion, I'd have used much less to have our cases sorted out in-house like the State Law Office. And that is what we intend to do.
Do you still have ghost workers?
No.
They're gone?
According to me, because of digitizing, because of them registering using their biometrics, it is not, I think it's something that is always overstated. It is not what people make it to be.
Yeah.
I think my numbers are a bit accurate. If they are, they'll be weeded out, especially in the next financial year. Because we're saying, look, if you're working for the city, and I'm giving you a cover, you must register biometrically, and if you register, which ghost worker is going to come register that way? And so we've done, PwC did a survey, I've gone through it. It's really overstated. But it's now about accountability. That's why we're going into the barrows. So there's somebody, and we're deploying our staff there, there's somebody in charge of the people working here in this sector, and you can account for your staff. That accountability is what leads to ghost workers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
G. Morocco says, kindly ask Sakaja to talk to his Askaris to stop harassing us while we are dropping customers from our taxis.
These are my guys. I fought for Uber people from 2015. But we've agreed on designated spots. If you're dropping somebody in a spot that's not designated, it's not being harassed. It's enforcement. There's a difference between enforcement and harassment. If you're not doing the right thing, you'll have to pay for it. Because there must be order. You can't just have everyone crisscrossing everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those spots are being marked. Some of these hailing companies like Uber have agreed to even help us have the sheds, and we'll co-brand those sheds. You can come and park, drop somebody, pick them. Every city you've been when you ask for an Uber, it tells you your pickup point will be in X place.
Correct.
Not just where you stand.
Yeah, not in the middle of the road.
No. So, makoko, tabidi mti. Yo, mtati. But
yeah,
we pushed the issue of regulations. These companies were racing to the bottom. These drivers are driving for 20 hours a day because the prices are too low. And we said Competition Authority, AA Kenya, and all of that must set a formula that sets the minimum. So if fuel goes up by 5%, the variable changes. Maybe not in that proportion, but it changes. And then the guys who are not on Uber have agreed they want to have meters in their cabs. So you have a metered cab. So that even as a passenger, you don't think, you just like, okay, how much to the airport? He looks at you and says 3,000. No. There's a meter that looks per minute, per kilometer. That is what we're going towards.
Nice. Yeah. Honorable Tui Toik says, in a special way, appreciate Governor for the great journey of transformation in Nairobi through RRI. What is RRI?
Rapid Results Initiative. I've done 3 waves of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ask Governor, what is the plan for former NMS staff who have been very instrumental?
Yes, the former NMS staff, we told them that now you should be able to apply for your jobs because, you see, NMS was an entity owned by both national government and county government.
Yeah.
And, no matter how they came in, it's really not right to make somebody, people came into the city or they're in the city, somebody got a house, got a wife, they have children, and then many of them are young.
Yeah.
You can't just fire them. And so we want to absorb those who will apply and come into the county government structure where they're supposed to be. So many of them are in healthcare, many of them are in the inspectorate, and so those jobs open, and they'll have first priority to get those jobs. But you see, if you just superimpose it, the structure that was created in MS is not congruent with the structure in the county. So you find a guy became an inspectorate officer, comes and becomes a boss of somebody who was there from 1990. It can't be. So you must, if you accept to come at an entry level, at the level where you're supposed to be based on your qualification, and when you've come in, karibuni. That's how we'll get them.
Nice. Yeah. Dan Mwendwa says, Sakaja Johnson, is there any plans to have cab roads on the pipeline estate access roads? They are ever muddy and worse during the rainy season.
Yeah. As I've said, there are a lot of issues, how those buildings have been done. Some have interfered with sewer lines, with water, lines. And so it's bigger than the areas I've had interventions. But we're going to sort that out. And there are many ways. There's what we are doing as a county. There is the Ward Development Fund with the MCA, Honorable Musango, who we've discussed. And he's the chairman of transport, So there'll be a solution for pipeline as well.
Nice. Yeah. Grandma says, ask the governor what he is doing about land grabbing cases in Buruburu Estate. We also have a problem with house owners building extensions around the allowed 2 levels and in the middle of courts. Another issue is the low water pressure. We are not in a city. You discussed that water, we're getting it.
We discussed about water.
Yeah.
The issue of land grabbing, our titling program is what is going to secure a lot of that. Tomorrow I'm issuing 2,000 title deeds. Is it tomorrow or Friday? Tomorrow is when I'm issuing the 2,000 titles. A lot of that was stuck during the transition, but now we've been able to do that. But the issue of extensions in a court, it's about responsibility. In that court, you find a court has 30 houses.
Yeah.
You have an association. How am I coming into your court to interfere with what? There's a law. Of course, if it's not approved by us, we'll intervene, but we also can't be everywhere. So people also must be responsible for your area. Get into those associations, meet once a month, agree these are the standards. There are many areas in Nairobi where people have actually self-policed on these issues. Yeah? And when they can't, then they come to us. So let's partner. Yeah? If things are not approved, we will come and enforce. But also yourself, don't just sit and look at somebody from the time he starts building. When he's gone 3 floors is when you're reporting to us. It can't be. We're increasing our capacity, we're increasing our staff, but let's work together, Nairobians. That is really what we need. Let's work together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kathure CK says, kindly ask the governor what his plan with the hawkers in Nairobi CBD. We talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
They'll also soon be selling meat, roasted maize at Parliament. They are everywhere. Oh, we talked about that, okay. Yeah. Kabisa Mwangi says, here in Kawa West Market, public participation has been thrown to the pit. Governor, help us stop this unplanned construction of the market, grabbing of parking lot, and a rewarding scheme for the supporters of the people in leadership.
You know, Jeff, leadership is very difficult. You know, Kawa West Market is one of the places that we are sorting them out. During the campaigns, we stopped there many times, myself, with the president, with the MP, with the MCA, Dr. Clemo. And we agreed we're actually going to construct for them the market. Now, is this person opposing it or they want it not done? Sometimes when you look for unanimity to move forward in leadership, you'll never move forward.
Yeah.
If it's the right thing, because I have the records of public participation, if it's the right thing, it will go on. And sometimes also, the solution that comes might be the wrong one. So that one, I'll check out. I'll speak to the MC and the MP. But we agreed we must have markets, you know?
Yeah.
We must have markets. The priority is let our people have places to trade. And we must do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gashambi Joseph says, just ask Sakaja along Jogoo and Manyanja Road, sorry. I'm just seeing red soil and few guys working, whereas somewhere like Mudhurwa and Marigiti markets, garbage is zimekula mpaka barabara. What is that? And who said Kajo should be taxing everything in Nairobi?
The Constitution. People must pay. Yeah, but I think he's talking about the works being done on Jogoo Road, Manyanja Road, with our teams from that side. With Mudhurwa, there's an expansion problem. Yeah, we're trying to create more space. And even as we activate Kangundo Road Market, there'll be better, you know, those people right on the road now will move into the market and into the sides. And we've engaged them. We're talking to them. Remember, President Kibaki built Mudhurwa because of the hawkers.
Correct.
When he built it, I think after a year, they went back to the streets. Because you must do markets. There's a congress between markets and transport. Because they will go to where the people are. And so they stay there because people are walking down. You know, so we're working with them and we'll get it right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Good. Elia Tyner says, kindly ask the governor what is happening to NPDMS. What is that?
That's the planning, the electronic planning portal.
The portal, which is causing delays in approval of building plans and also confirmation of payments for the same. This is slowing down construction industry, which employs many.
Yeah, that is more or less sorted. We're now doing it as Nairobi plan. There was a problem when you pay by RTGS. It wasn't automatically reflecting. And so it's a coding issue. Our developers have sorted it out. And it should be live quite soon. Just that we're closing the financial year, but it should be live. So that even if you pay by RTGS, you don't have to do a manual receipting. It goes straight into the receipting. So we know you've paid and you get your approvals.
Nice.
Yeah. It's things we're working on, Jeff.
Yeah. Pole. Kyoko EKS says, in Westland sub-county, all the bandas were demolished and hustlers have nowhere to get lunch or breakfast, not forgetting the affected business people. Why did he demolish them and what is the way forward?
They can get lunch and breakfast in Westlands Market. There are traders in there, the restaurants, for that category that he's talking about. Because you see, it was just a mess that tomorrow if you decide to set up a stall, you just go and stand and open something. Tomorrow, the next day, where are we going to go to? You know? So, and we've been speaking with the MP for Westlands. We said, look, those who, because the reason the market was built, and it's a number of stories, I've even branded it now, I've painted it, I've put signage. People refuse to enter and sell there and they go to the street. So on that one, there must be order. If you find that the market is full, we'll take them to City Park. There's so many stalls that are empty because people want to be on the road, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many tweets. Oh, this is the last one? Oh, okay, sorry. Lastly, okay. Says, ask Governor Sakaja on the status of Uhuru Park and the implementation of the zoning of Nairobi.
Yeah, remember Uhuru Park was a project it was being undertaken by the Ministry of Defense. There were some exchequer challenges that we were able to unlock. We got, I think, between 300 and 400 million shillings. Contractors on site. In fact, the rally event 2 days from now is going to be done there. So the contractor should be handing it over to us soon. So to open it to the public. Yeah, people have waited. And I want to remove that hoarding that is blocking the view.
Yeah.
Uhuru Park was where you'd go and just chill. If you don't have, you're tammacking and it's lunchtime, you don't have something, you go and relax there.
Correct.
So we're going to open it. There are different schools of thought. There are those who want us to charge people to enter Uhuru Park. I think we shouldn't, but we should be able to provide security and to maintain it, and to make sure that the place is maintained. It's very beautiful, So we'll be able to collect. You have to identify yourself as you're getting in, to make sure that now it doesn't become a place where unapigwa ngeta or you're robbed when you're in there.
Yeah.
But now there are certain spaces in Central Park that we can charge for. The amphitheaters and world over, park commissions. Find a way to create a revenue stream that sustains the park and the staff that work there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is the dam still there? The people go rowing?
Yes.
It's still there?
Yes.
It'll still be available?
Still there. It's beautiful, yeah. So there'll be boats. We did the Nairobi Festival there. It was amazing. And it's going to be bigger than the Cape Town Jazz Festival.
Come on.
Yes. The mayor of Cape Town came to my office. Yeah. Leondin Hill Lewis. I told him, I'm coming for you. Because the creative sector is an economic frontier that no one looks at. And we can sell that as Nairobi. We have immense, you know better than I do. We have immense talent,
Absolutely.
And so Uhuru Park was a venue for that. In Easter, I did the Battle of the Choirs. And all these church choirs came. And it was, how to enjoy Easter. Yeah. So Uhuru Park is going to be open. It belongs to us. It was saved by Wangari Maathai. I apologize that the works took long. They're not under me. They're with the National Government, Ministry of Defense. But P.S. Mariru has been amazing, and the Major, now is General Ogola, in just trying to expedite and get resources so that it's open.
Lots of people sending in lots of salams to you and goodwill. Stephen Kirago, the boss is BG. Says a big hello. Says big Kirago, yes. Yeah. Dr. Njoki, she's a psychologist. Okay. Says Governor Sakaja has what it takes to enhance and transform services in our capital. All the very best, Governor.
Thank you.
And that's what we'll get so many. Julius Kamau is a chief... what is he? Chief Conservation at
yes, KFS.
KFS, correct.
Yes, we're working together on the tree planting. Yes, they have seedlings and all that.
Yeah, he says, pass my regards. He's a visionary and passionate in delivering for Nairobians.
Thank you. Thank you, Julius.
Governor, I once told you this, and I'll tell you again. Be careful what you wish for, because you may just get it.
Mungu mbele. I want a city of order, dignity, hope, and opportunities. So I wish for that, and I hope I get it.
And to the Nairobians who look at you or leaders with a skeptical eye, untrusting eye, what do you tell them? What do you tell them?
I think we must pull out the weeds of skepticism. Let's give leadership a chance, both at Nairobi and the national level. The president has such good intentions. I've never seen a man so passionate who works that hard thinking about the people of Kenya. The cynicism comes from the fact that it's easier to sell a negative story. And he's had to make hard decisions, Let's believe in what the president is. And I gave the example that no one asks their father for bread and he gives them a stone, or fish and he gives them a snake. That is in the book of Matthew. The president has great intentions for this country. I have good intentions for Nairobi. And and the leaders we chose, let's give them a chance. You can't choose people and start beating them up immediately they get into office. There is oversight and accountability, but there's also sabotage and bringing leaders down. It's cutting off your nose to spite your face. No one gains, And I tell my MCAs, because we are a mixed mosaic of all the parties and all the communities. I tell them, you know what, guys? See, we just try, even for 3 years, we focus on work and see whether it will be different for all of us. Let's just focus on, let's leave politics. We're too political. We're the most political country. Our favorite sport is not football, it's politics.
Yeah, absolutely.
For what?
That's our passion.
No one eats from it, If we just focused on work, let the national government work, let the opposition play its opposition role, objectively. Let the media play an objective. The media holds no franchise on opinion. The media serves people best by being a mirror of what is happening and telling us this is what this one has said, but not taking political positions or looking like there's a vendetta, and that's the beauty of press freedom. If we all did that, the judiciary does its part, the wheels of justice move. I'm telling you, we have the most beautiful country in Africa. This is Africa's capital. And I say that with all the audacity that is needed. But it's us to make it the true capital of hope and opportunities, order and dignity, ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
What Ronald Reagan once called that city on the hill, remember?
That city on the hill.
Yes.
Yes, yes. That's what we are.
Governor Sakaja Johnson, what a pleasure, man.
Always a pleasure. And it's been too long. And next time, call Mutula as well. You know, it's
Yes. You guys talk?
all the time.
How is he?
He's good.
Yeah?
He's doing a good job.
He's doing a very good job in
He's doing a
Makueni.
good job. We do a lot of peer review.
Yeah.
We talk all the time. The things he's gotten right, I learn from him. The things he asks me, how do you do this?
Yeah.
And I mean, iron sharpens iron. So man sharpens man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron. So you guys, I told you this before, you guys will be president and deputy one day, you know that?
Now you're the guys who get me in trouble.
Finish with Nairobi first.
Wacha tufanye Nairobi.
Sio?
Yeah.
One at a time.
If Nairobi works, Kenya works.
If Nairobi works, Kenya works, folks. What more? What more do you want? What a breath of fresh air. That's all I can say, folks. It's not every day we get to speak to someone who's so passionate about what he does. He doesn't want to think back. Think about it. Remember, JKLIVE is powered by APA Insurance, where life can be unpredictable. Accidents can happen, or unexpected illnesses can leave you with financial burdens. But with APA Insurance, you can protect what matters to you most. Whether it's your health, your car, your home, APA Insurance has you covered. Don't let unforeseen circumstances bring you down. Insure your happiness today with APA Insurance. Thanks so much for being a part of JKLIVE, folks. Remember, if it's Wednesday, it's all those 3 letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Good night. Good luck. God bless Nairobi.
Yes, and let's make Nairobi work.
Let's make Nairobi work. Thanks, God.
Thanks so much.